Hello and welcome to ET Interview. All of us use email. Some of us spend hours and some of us spend few minutes in reading and answering our emails. Now there are two big email services in the world, just two big email services, Outlook and Gmail. And this is one space which so far has not seen a mega or a massive disruption. So my guest on the show today is someone who is trying and has already disrupted the entire email service business. That's Rahul Vohra of Superhuman. Superhuman was born more like an idea, and today it has become a premium email service provider. So what prompted Rahul to come up with this rather innovative idea, and is there acceptance in the mainstream for a premium email service? So to discuss that and to find out how exactly this business is evolving and what is the future of the email services, let's connect with Rahul Vohra. Rahul, fantastic to have you on ET Now. Thank you for joining us. It's quite extraordinary to see the kind of good work which you are doing. Superhuman. What I like about it is speed. What I don't like about it, the price.
So there are roughly 1 billion professionals in the world. To put this into context, and on average, the professional spends 3 hours a day reading and writing email. So if you do the really simple math, that's 3 billion hours every single day that we spend reading and writing email. And in fact, we spend more time on email than any other aspect of our job. And yes, it didn't matter whether you do email for a few minutes or if it's where you actually do your work. You only really had two choices prior to Superhuman, Gmail and Outlook, and neither of them are built for speed. So we redesigned the inbox from the ground up, and now Superhuman is the fastest email experience in the world.
So Rahul, when you say that Superhuman is the fastest email experience in the world, how exactly are you quantifying it?
Well, imagine Superhuman as a layer on top of your current email experience, a layer that literally makes you significantly faster. In fact, our customers now get through their inbox twice as fast as before, and many of them hit inbox zero for the first time in years. We're actually now at the point where 36% of all new customers hit inbox zero within 30 minutes, and more than half hit inbox zero within 4 hours. As you can imagine, that's pretty life-changing.
Well, agreed, Rahul, that this kind of a service and this kind of an experience will come at a price. So what's been the initial response? Because Outlook and Gmail, which in a sense are the two major email services, well, they're available for free.
Users have absolutely loved it. We've been blown away by the amount of demand that we've had for Superhuman, as I think has our whole industry has been blown away. Superhuman is the first time that a paid email experience has taken off to this degree. I think the question is, why would anyone rather pay $30 per month for email? And the answer is rather simple. Time is the most precious thing we have. As the old saying goes, you can always make more money, but you cannot manufacture time. So we save our users many hours a week. $30 a month by comparison is totally worth it.
What is coming next for Superhuman users, both in terms of templates, technology, and also the processes? And the reason why I'm asking you this question is because I'm going to break it up for the benefit of our viewers. When Gmail and Outlook started, they were just basic email exchange, and now plugins, value addition, productivity tools, everything has got added. What's next for Superhuman?
Well, we regularly get asked by customers to integrate major video conferencing products. That is an area of very exciting and active investment right now. And then in addition to that, we're working really hard on making Superhuman available to as many people as possible, expanding, for example, from iOS to Android and from Google Workplace to Office 365.
What is your understanding of the Indian email user? I understand that India is one of the top markets for you. When I looked at the data, I was surprised and also delighted. I was surprised that Indians are now paying for Indians are now paying premium for services, and I was delighted to see that the trend is only multiplying.
I think to answer that question, you have to first answer who is Superhuman built for? Superhuman is built for the kind of person for whom email is work and work is email. Now, for our audience, it is literally part of their job to be responsive over email. Because if they are not, they risk blocking their team, missing their opportunities, or damaging their own reputation. So more than half of our customers are founders, leaders, executives, and managers. And guess what? Those people are everywhere, all across the world. So whilst the US does make up of the majority of our business today, India is in our top 4 countries by where customers come from, and I see it rapidly accelerating. It's typically been adopted by that type of user, so the founder, the leader, the executive, and the manager, and we're currently seeing rapid growth in India within that population.
Also, as you scale up the business, as operating leverage would kick in, is there a subscription number which you can share with us? Is your subscription number likely to remain same? Could it come down? And B, also in terms of ambitions and targets, what are the numbers which internally you are aiming at in terms of adding new customers and in terms of adding new markets or adding new geographies?
I think the next 2-3 years is a very interesting time frame. One of the most interesting challenges over the next 2 or 3 years is going to be the jump from doing one thing extremely well to doing multiple things excellently. And so for me, that's one of the main ways that I think about scale. Beyond that, we're looking to grow as fast as possible every single year.
Rahul, what Superhuman in a sense is endorsing is a very different concept. If you look at the basic construct of the tech world, it was about go and acquire the customer. Doesn't matter whether the customer is coming for free or you have to pay out of pocket to service the customer. Now what Superhuman is saying that, look, I'm going to give you a premium service, but I'm going to charge you. Is the mindset now changing? Is the tilt now more towards what could be called as subscription-based services?
Yes, and I think this is absolutely a great thing. There is no such thing as a free lunch, and that is especially true on the internet. So when you use free products from Google or Facebook or any other gigantic internet company, it might seem like a good deal. But if you are not paying, you are always the product. And I think we've all seen firsthand over the last year or two just how dangerous these free products can be. For example, social media has divided us as a society. With Superhuman, I wanted to create an honest and a good business model. Our users pay us $30 per month and they save many hours per week. And I think you can't get more honest or good than that.
Rahul, do you think Superhuman is one amongst the first premium email services which could now change the way how email services would be consumed and the way how this entire business would work in the future? Because the disruption has come, and you know it more than anyone else that we tend to always underestimate the impact of disruption in the long term. Like you rightly pointed out, this space has not seen too much of disruption. But now that Superhuman has, in a sense, disrupted the space, do you see this entire email service business changing dramatically, radically, and in a very big manner?
There is such a thing called schlep blindness. This is a phrase that was termed by Paul Graham, one of the founders of Y Combinator. And he observed that some of the most interesting companies come out of when founders manage to shed schlep blindness. What that means is they manage to see the problems which are so large, they're so scary, and they're so difficult that other founders don't see them because our self-protection instincts kick in. And one of his favorite examples is Stripe, the payment processing platform. It turns out that the problem existed for a really long time, just like with Superhuman. Not many people went after it, just like with Superhuman. But when the Collison brothers found the problem and they just worked through the schlep, they were blind to the schlep, they resulted in one of the most amazing companies of this generation. And so we think that we can do the same thing with email. Email is currently this one-size-fits-all solution. You have north of a billion people using essentially two products. And it doesn't matter whether you're the kind of person who does 5 emails a day or, like you said, 3.5 hours of email. That, to me, is begging for someone to ignore the schlep, to come in, to do the hard work, and to build a product like Superhuman. So that's why we did that.
Okay, I'm just going to move away from the entire gambit of email services and Superhuman. Let me ask Rahul Vohra, the technology entrepreneur. You understand technology, you know where disruption is moving. Aside from disrupting the email services business, where do you think we could see a mega and a massive disruption? What do you think could haunt us and hit us in the technology space in coming days and coming years?
Well, I wouldn't claim to be able to talk about what might haunt us, but I also run a small venture fund. So I'm constantly on the lookout for technologies that we might find disruptive. And I think one of the most interesting things over the course of the last year is just how the face of technology has changed as we have adapted to working from home. And now we're all thinking about maybe going back into the offices, but time will only tell. One of the biggest changes of that has been the trend towards remote work. So we've seen a huge uptick in, for example, collaboration software, in remote event companies, in food delivery services, and other technologies that make our life living and working at home more convenient. I would expect to see that trend only accelerate over time.
Rahul Vohra, good luck with Superhuman. It was a pleasure to have you on ET Now, and certainly hope to see much more of you going forward.
Presenting partner IDFC First Bank. Early learning partner Square Panda India. State partner Government of Chhattisgarh. For a new day partner Toshiba.